Sha'ban or the last day. طيب. Now coming to the seeing or witnessing al-hilal, seeing the crescent. Prophet ﷺ, he said, نحن أمة أمية. We are illiterate ummah. The Quran, when it was revealed, most of the ummah was illiterate, including our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. They don't read, do not write. قال نحن أمة أمية لا نعرف الكتابة ولا الحسابة. That is, we don't know the literacy, which is writing, nor we know the calculation. Okay? الشهر هكذا. So he said the month is like this, and he pointed with his three throws of his hands, which is 30 days, or like this, yeah, and two, and then the third one he said like this, which is he made the thumb of his قال خنس إبهامه, he made it like this to make it 29. So either 30 days or 29. So we don't have 31, nor we have 28 like the solar system. So the month is like this, like this. What does it mean نحن أمة أمية? We are a literate ummah. It doesn't mean the Prophet of Allah, he says to us, it is sunnah to be illiterate. It is sunnah and more rewardable not to read, not to write. That's not correct. Because the Prophet of Allah, when he had prisoners of war out of, for example, the battle of Badr, he had actually set them free if they can teach companions to read and write. But he's saying here, as Shaykh al-Islam Tamiya, he said, that regarding calculation, for example, that the person who's in the desert with his camel, he's supposed to be as well equal to the one who's doing PhD in the university in terms of sighting the moon. So the sighting is not to be done by telescopes of that PhD person. It's to be done by the eyes. That's what it means. So we have equality here in terms of fasting and witnessing or sighting the crescent. Our ibadah is not actually built upon calculation. Calculation even known at the time before the Prophet ﷺ. The pharaohs, they know calculation, astronomical calculation. The Greek, they know as well. They having calculation. The Persians, they have as well astronomical calculation. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, our calculation is what Allah given us. We have the moon, we have the sun. By the sun, we know the prayer's time. By the moon, we know the time for zakah, the time for hajj, the time for fasting. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ Allah, he said in the Quran, they asked you about the ahillah, means the crescents that starting in the moons. قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ. So he said, say it is mawaqit. Mawaqit لِلنَّاسِ, meaning it is set as time for the people to know the beginning of the month, the end of the month. قال وَالْحَجِّ, and also for pilgrimage, for hajj. So this is the solar system and the lunar system for the service of humanity, for us. Now, the testimony regarding sighting the moon, it is in every month 2 witnesses, except for the month of Ramadan. Month of Ramadan, Abdullah ibn Umar, he said the people were searching and sighting for the moon, and I did sight it on my own. He was one witness. He told the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ took his testimony. Now, the conditions for the person to be a witness is, number 1, is to be a Muslim. If he's not Muslim, we don't take his testimony. Number 2, he has to be sane. If he's insane, we don't take his testimony. And he has to be adult. If he's not an adult, the testimony will not be taken into place. Abdullah ibn Umar, when he sighted the moon, he actually was a teenager, but he was an adult. And he used to be adl. That means his hasanat more than his sayyat. He prays, he's adl. I didn't say he has to be a man or a woman. So it could be a man, it could be a woman. No problem about that. And the man equals to the woman in terms of the testimony here. Only the woman, she's half the testimony of the man regarding money. Because because Allah Azza wa Jal, He put that in the ayah or the verse of ad-dain. He said فَشَاهِدَيْن, that is, you have 2 witnesses, or a witness and 2 women. The 2 women and their witnesses will be for the financial purposes. So why? Because if one of them to forget, the other one will not remind her. That's only in the financial issues. Fine. Now, also we need to know that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Sumu li ru'yatih." Fast when you see it. When you see the crescent, the beginning of the month. وَأَفْطِرُوا لِرُؤْيَتِهِ, and also fast and also break the fast for Ramadan and start Shawwal when you see it. When you see فَإِنْ غُمِّيَ عَلَيْكُمْ. If it's to be cloudy, you can't see it on the 29th day, which is the 30th of Sha'ban, you can't see the crescent, then أَكْمِلُوا عِدَّةَ شَعْبَانَ. Make Sha'ban is to be 30 days. In another narration, فَإِنْ غُبِّيَ. غُبِّيَ from the word غَبِي. غَبِي is a person who's fool. His brain is not there. That means فَإِنْ غُبِّيَ, that moon is not there. If in غُبِّيَ عَلَيْكُمْ, make the month of Sha'ban is to be 30 days. طيب. Third issue regarding the fiqh of Ramadan, and that is when we sight the moon, we are supposed to be sighting and making the month of Ramadan with the first country who had sighted the moon. So if we have, mashallah, Muslim empire, one person in China saw the moon, or in Japan saw the moon, so the whole countries of the Muslim countries, because they start from Japan is at the eastern side, all the Muslim countries are supposed to be with one sighting. But unfortunately, we don't have that. We have not moon sighting, we have moon fighting, because they are different from each other. Not I'm saying country from another country. No, the country itself, they're having difference as well, from east maybe, and north and south. Also, in the place itself, in the province, in the city, we don't have even one sighting. We have one masjid here and one masjid here. Even in the family, we have a person who is with the Brailwis, and one member of the family is with the Al-Hadith. So, Allahul Musta'an. Different sightings everywhere. Allahul Musta'an. So what we should do here, right? If we are not with all of us in one sighting, all the countries, then we will fast with the country that we are in. So, even if you are Chinese or Arab or Pakistani living in UK, you should be fasting with the ones who are the UK. The UK are different themselves. Then you should be with the people who are in your town. My town has got many masajid and different as well from each other. I will be with my own masjid. Even in my masjid, I am a family. I am Al-Hadith, my father, they have got a different Eid. They're going to be the following day. I am Brailwis. So what should I do here? In that case, I will tell that person, you must break the fast with those who had broken the fast before the Brailwis. You break the fast with them. You do with the Eid with them. And for the following day, just for the sake of as well, making your father or mother happy if they are insisted, you could just go out with them as a day off, no problem. But you must break off your day. If your father or your mother are going to be upset, you could break it without them knowing. But you have to go to the Eid, and you could just tell them, I like the reciter's melody, that's why I'm going there. You've got lots of options anyway, but that's how we divide how you should be making the sighting with the people. Right. He who had seen the crescent on his own, and he has no communication with the rest of the country, then he fasts. Because he got no communication, he saw the moon, the crescent, he will fast. But if he had communication, and he saw the moon with himself, with his eyes, and he had a mobile to record in all of that, but the country or the ministry or endowments or whatever who is in charge did not consider his testimony, and they said that the following day is going to be the 30th of Sha'ban, Ramadan is after that, he should not be fasting. He should be fasting, as I said, with the people, because the Prophet of Allah said, صَوْمُكُمْ يَوْمَ تَصُومُونَ. You fast when everybody fasts. You cannot make your own Eid on yourself. It's when everybody makes Eid. And فِطْرُكُمْ يَوْمَ تُفْطِرُونَ وَأَضْحَاكُمْ يَوْمَ تُضْحُونَ. And I just remembered here a condition I should really add to the condition of the one who testify, the one who cites. We said he's to be Muslim. Yes? With me? Everybody? To be Muslim? Yes? We have to be as well? Sane. And to be what? Adult. And to be what? This is the one I'm going to add. Has to have two eyes. He has to see. We can't accept it from a blind man. Okay? So we have to have this fourth condition. As for the man and the woman, it doesn't matter. Right. طيب. We're coming now, the rule of the fasting. Rule of the fasting,